I just won this Ruger Mark IV. How did that happen? Well, I was at the Guffy's range day this Saturday, and what a day it was. Well, it was pouring rain in an area that doesn't really ever rain. We got the one rainy day the entire year. But you know what? That didn't dampen our spirits. We had a ton of fun there. I brought my daughter, and it was really a really amazing day and a fantastic time. And I think it's worth bringing you guys it. I've got interviews with new suppressor companies. Got to shoot 3-position MP5s, FA, if you know what I mean. We'll have some footage of that toward the end of the video. And I even won a pistol. Shooting can be a very individual thing. And for the most part, when I go out shooting, it's me. I go to the range, I set up my steel targets, I have my camera, and I'm usually filming something for this channel. But I think it is good to be part of a community. It's nice to know that you're not the only autistic gun nerd in your area. In my local shop, Guffy's Gun and Pawn, this is their Range Day 2025 shirt that I'm wearing here. They put on a fantastic event each year. And this was actually the first year that I've made it there. I don't know how, but somehow the other years I must have been out of town or something. I'm not sure. But I'll definitely be going every year from now on. Now, Guffy's is, I've mentioned their shop on this channel many, many times. Every gun that you see behind me came from Guffy's. I know the guys there very well. Cody, the owner, is a really good person, and his entire crew, they're all fantastic. I consider them friends. Probably because I go in there multiple times every week. I'm a pretty good customer, I'd say. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that have a lot of money that spend more than I do, but I do like to support my local shop because they support me. They've loaned me lots of really good different guns to put on this channel. I've done videos about, Staccato XC, Dan Wesson DWX, lots of unique, expensive guns that I probably wouldn't be able to just afford myself just to do a video. And they've just helped me out with all kinds of stuff. Really, really great shop. And so because they support me, I like to support them. Now, for their range day, it's a free event. The whole community is invited. But for $100, you get a ticket. Now, a ticket is for the raffle, and there was a lot of really cool prizes, including this Ruger Mark IV that I won. But besides just an entry into the raffle, you also got ammo vouchers, which, you can go shoot 3-position guns. They had, shotgun, clay shooting. They had precision rifle stuff. They had pistol shooting things. They had all kinds of cool stuff to do there with your ammo vouchers. They served lunch. You got a shirt and a hat, a bunch of stuff for your $100. And then you were also entered into the raffle. And the raffle did work out for me this year. Now, I have never been the kind of person that wins stuff. I'm just not that lucky. So this was a huge surprise to me. And we'll get deeper into this in just a minute. But I do want to talk about some of the manufacturers that were there. JK Armament was there, MCM Firearms was there, and a new manufacturer, in fact, a suppressor manufacturer that just released their first suppressor in January of this year. So they've really only existed for a few months. They're called Stealth Additive Works. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you a short interview I did with them. But it looks like they're doing very impressive things. The owner is also the engineer, and it looks like he knows what he's doing. I got to shoot a couple of their cans, and honestly, it's pretty impressed. I'm going to need a 22 suppressor for this Ruger Mark IV. I might have to reach out to those guys. This video is sponsored by Aura. Do you care about privacy? Because I do, especially online privacy. My personal privacy, my life, I live in a small community. Everybody kind of knows what I do. Not too worried about that. What I'm worried about is my information being out on the internet, being sold to scammers and spammers and other bad actors that are using that information to, well, try to scam me, to spam me, stuff like that. It drives me absolutely crazy. Well, Aura protects you from that, and they do it very affordably. But if you want to just try it out absolutely free for 2 weeks and see if you like what they do, use my link, aura.com/sawtoothtactical, first link in the description. You can try it out for 14 days. See if it's worth it to you or not. If you decide to stick with it, it's only $12 a month, and they'll take care of all of your online security. The first thing that they do is they scour the entire internet and the dark web. They find any data brokers that have your information and are selling your information to, again, those scammers and spammers. And they submit opt-out requests on your behalf, taking you off of all of those data broker lists. And you know what happened to me when I did that? I stopped getting spam calls. I stopped getting scam calls. I don't get spam emails. It's really, really nice. You also get a VPN, so you can browse the internet totally anonymously and securely. You get a password manager, you get antivirus software, parental controls, home title monitoring, and a whole lot more, all packaged together in one easy to use, easy to set up app for $12 a month. But again, 2 weeks absolutely free to try it out with my link. That link again is aura.com/sawtoothtactical. So I didn't get quite as much footage as I would have liked to at the Guffy's range day, because I really wanted to show you guys this, because I talk about this shop all the time in my videos. And if you live in southern Idaho, I mean, I do fully, truly believe that this is the best gun shop in southern Idaho, especially because they do stuff like this. They care about the community here, and they support the community. Now, they did this raffle. Like I said, $100 got you, lunch, ammo vouchers, shirt, hat, all these things, but it also got you into this raffle, and they had really cool stuff in the raffle. They had a tactical lever gun from Mad Pig Customs. They had a CZ Shadow 2 Compact. That was one that I was really hoping to get. The second one that I wanted to get was this, the Ruger Mark IV. I've always wanted a Ruger Mark IV, but every time I seem to have the money for one, I, for some reason, always buy something that's not a 22. I think that this is going to be an incredible pistol for my daughter to shoot. 22 is very low recoil, not very loud. It suppresses very easily. Right? It's a threaded barrel. This comes off and you can throw a suppressor on it. So I am looking at 22 suppressors now. Now, speaking of suppressors, JK Armament was there. They had a full auto 12 gauge at their booth. Freaking cool. But then also Stealth Additive Works. You might have never heard of them before. So here's your opportunity. Check out this very short interview I did with him.
How's it going? We're Stealth Additive Works. We make 3D printed titanium suppressors out of Twin Falls, Idaho. 30 cal, ultra low back pressure, great for 300 blackout. If you can see the inside there, super low back pressure and quiet. So lower back pressure than the most common names you hear in that world, and also quieter. Here's our 5.56. We also have a 22 long rifle that is legitimately super quiet, but also is 5.56 rated. So we have it here on a demo gun. This is an AR-15. It's 5.56 rated, and it's also relatively quiet. Get this if you're shooting a lot of 5.56, but it works.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. Now, of course, with my ammo vouchers, I go shooting every weekend. So I get to shoot cool pistols, cool rifles, stuff like that on a regular basis, but semi-automatic. I don't own any transferables, and I am not an SOT. But who is an SOT? Guffy's Gun and Pawn. And they had really cool stuff there. The one that I was the most excited about was, of course, the MP5, being that my newest firearm is an MP5K clone. And of course, they had a real MP5 with the third position, the fighting stroke, so check it out. As you can see, I had a lot of fun. I was not super accurate with it. It had iron sights, and after I shot it, actually, the guy that was manning the booth put a few rounds through it, and he said that it was shooting way low. So that's my excuse for only hitting a couple of the plates on the plate rack. But I went back after that and shot it again because it's not every day that you get to shoot an FA, for YouTube's sake, MP5. Pretty freaking cool. I had a really great time at the Guffy's range day. I felt like it was worth a video. I hope that you guys, if you live in this area, try to come make it next year. It's just a really good time, even though it was pouring rain all day. Really cool to meet the rest of the gun-owning, Second Amendment supporting community in the area that I live in. And of course, to support the shop that supports me. And those guys do. They are super cool. Before my Form 1 got approved for this MP5K, the owner, Cody of Guffy's, loaned me an MP5K brace so that I could shoot this thing in a stable way. He's loaned me guns to do videos on this channel. His employees have loaned me their personal guns to do videos on. In fact, the Daniel Defense H9 video that we did just a couple weeks ago, that was one of Guffy's employees' pistol that he loaned me. Like I said, I consider those guys close friends, almost like family at this point. It is the best shop in southern Idaho. They do have a website. Check out their site. I can't say what it is here. Search up Guffy's Gun and Pawn. Shouldn't be hard to find. Really, you couldn't ask for better people to purchase your firearms or accessories from. And so to me, it is absolutely worth making a video about what they do here. If you enjoyed this video, let's talk about this Ruger Mark IV real quick. Free pistol. I mean, not free. I spent $100 on a raffle ticket, but I bought one raffle ticket. Of course, after I won, I bought a couple other $20 tickets for the smaller items because they had some 22 suppressors there. Didn't quite get that lucky, but you know what? I did win a pistol that day. And for a guy that never wins anything, I thought that was really cool. I've always wanted a Ruger Mark IV. Once I get a suppressor on here, this thing is going to be super quiet, super fun for my daughter to shoot, but also for me to shoot. I love 22. I've got a little 22 revolver there. I used to have a Ruger 10-22. 22s are fun. The Ruger Mark IV is probably the most reliable 22 semi-auto pistol that there is. And so I'm really looking forward to shooting this. In a few weeks, we'll have a full video on this pistol. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.